82 years ago, a man named Alex Raymond published a comic strip of his version of Buck Rogers. The character of Flash Gordon was a polo player from Yale University who traveled to the planet Mongo to help prevent the destruction of Earth. Flash Gordon and his adventures continued in film serials starring Buster Crabbe, as well as comic strips into the 1950s, with a brief hiatus during World War II. In the 1970s, several filmmakers, including George Lucas, attempted to obtain the rights to Flash Gordon characters, but were unsuccessful. Kurt Russell and Arnold Schwarzenegger were both considered for the role, but Sam Jones became the lead in 1980's Flash Gordon. This week on Real Comic Heroes, Flash Gordon. Greetings, citizens, and welcome to another adventure of Real Comic Heroes podcast. I'm Travis.
And I'm Patrick. God, that was good.
I just want to make sure right at the start that you didn't accidentally watch Flesh Gordon, did you?
Of course there is.
Which actually predates this movie. It came out in like 1974.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's actually not even a porn parody of this movie. It's just a porn parody of Flash Gordon in general.
Yeah, I guess I never realized that this was a big deal.
I didn't either. I mean, I knew it was like, I thought it was like just a big 80s thing.
Yeah, I figured it was like at least like as old as the 70s maybe, but not like way back for the...
Well, and I think I always confused the hype for Buckaroo Banzai for this movie, because for some reason I always, like, I know that there's a difference. I've never seen, until yesterday, I'd never seen either of these. But for some reason I always thought, wasn't sure which movie, was famous for certain things, I guess. So.
Yeah, I didn't realize this was made in 1980.
Yeah.
I mean, technically it was probably filmed in 79, but...
Right. I think it's that weird transition of kind of 70s style, but still all the, electro synth and spandex and, hair and all that you associate with the 80s, so... Yeah,
because Flash kind of reminded me of Captain America, that TV show we watched.
I had thought that, most of the way through, like... Why couldn't, I would have rather had, this guy, Sam Jones, play Captain America back then. Like, he would have done slightly better.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he was very much that, he would have worked for that role.
What I wasn't expecting was that Flash Gordon is just a dude.
Right, yeah. I always thought he was basically a superhero,
I thought he'd, even, up to the point where he's fighting... Ming's got guards and stuff. I thought, okay, maybe he has to have something like a ball in his hands to get his superpower. I don't know.
Right.
But no, he's just a normal dude with a really high sense of morals.
Yeah, just a dude.
So that was kind of disappointing, but
yeah.
I guess it's different. So, he didn't have any kind of force. He wasn't quick. I thought he'd be at least fast.
Right.
Just because of the Flash part, but...
Sure.
I guess that's just a sports nickname?
Yeah, just his nickname.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, that took me off guard.
Yeah.
But we got halfway through the movie. I'm like, I think this dude's just a regular guy. With a pretty sweet name.
Right.
So that was something to get used to.
Yeah.
Flash! Savior of the universe. Flash. He saved every one of us.
But okay, you want to get into the first act?
Yeah.
Basically, from the get-go to about the time that, spoiler alert, Flash Gordon dies.
You're right.
So I'll start us off.
Okay.
It starts off sort of with I don't know, just like noises and voices, and obviously they're zooming in on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
Essentially, Ming is bored and needs something to do.
Right.
So him and his, I guess, second in command fixate on Earth, and it was kind of weird because I'm sure people have brought this up, but he doesn't know what the planet's called, but he's got a flashing light that says earthquake.
I saw that as one of the. I noticed it right away, but then when I went on IMDb, that was one of the listed as a goof.
Okay, because I was gonna give it a pass because I was thinking, okay, maybe the second in command really did his homework and pre-lit all the dials with the correct terminology or something.
Well, but if you think about it, even if you Earth is just a name for basically dirt. Our planet is named Dirt. So an earthquake would happen on any planet regardless of the name. Like Mars could have earthquakes because Mars has dirt, has Earth. Earth is just soil.
But is dirt called Earth because it's Earth?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I think planet Earth gets its name because it's, a ball of, I could be wrong. I'm not a scientist yet.
I'd never heard that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've always I forget where, but I've heard it mentioned in other movies or whatever. Like aliens will, look at our planet and be like, they call it Earth. It's like having a planet mud, So.
Well, then I want to see if we can get it changed to magma.
Yeah.
Because that'd be cooler. Planet magma. Or what's at the center of the Earth? Mole men. So.
Right.
I learned that from Superman.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, man. But, yeah, I was very confused by the blinking lights that, literally spelled out what he was doing.
Yeah.
I was like, well, why can't you show just video? Why do you have to also have weird blinking lights that spell out what he's doing?
Right. And they had, the psychedelic,
Yeah.
I guess their version of what space and deep space looks like and all that, which, I mean, I get. They did the same thing in Superman, so.
Yeah, there's what was the one? I thought I wrote it down, but.
As far as the weather phenomenon,
yeah.
There was typhoon and hurricane, which are the same thing.
Yeah. That's true, too. But there's another one. Oh, it's going to drive me nuts now.
Yeah.
I just thought of it now.
Hot hail?
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was my first note.
I was very confused.
Hot hail, question mark?
Yes. Oh, that was so bizarre. Oh, I found it now. Hot hail, question mark.
Yeah. Awesome.
I think I saw it, and I thought it said, I wrote it down really crappy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that one was weird, because I was like, does it mean acid hail? Because that's what it seemed like.
Right.
It seemed like it hit and started burning.
Yeah, I thought maybe it meant volcanic debris, that erupted out of a volcano, maybe, and it just rained down. Yeah. But no, it was just hot hail.
It's hot hail is rain.
Yeah.
It can't be hail.
Yeah,
because it's
right.
hot. So confusing. So yeah, that's what I thought was acid hail, because it hit and then it started sizzling and burning everything. Although then there was what you were talking about, the sort of rocks falling through the sky.
Yeah.
And burning the crap out of everything. But it was a weird beginning to the movie, I thought.
Yeah, I think the first thing that I was really, that was stood out to me was how quickly we got to see kind of the production design and the sets of Zarkov's, lab and everything. You could tell it was a miniature. The rocket ship, just all of it really, right away I was like, okay, So I had no I had no frame of reference for how the effects were going to be in this, you know, how the sets were going to look, but I was really unimpressed right off the bat with the sets and stuff like that. Like inside Zarkov's lab, it looked, you know, full of junk and cluttered, but that was fine. Yeah. But just the outside, the miniatures, and then all that was...
Yeah, it gave me like...
rough.
Yeah, definitely. It gave me a Mystery Science Theater kind of feel, where it's like obvious models and everything's made out of cardboard.
Yeah.
But I sort of chalked it up because I knew it was like a cult classic, so I just figured it was just going to be a cheap movie. Although it really wasn't.
No, it was,
what,
20 million?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a decent chunk of change back then.
Sure.
So they must have spent it all on the actors or something, because they had some pretty decent actors in this.
Yeah, and I mean, the sets were... You can tell they spent money on the sets. You know, the costuming, the wardrobe, the set, you know, I mean, I'll go ahead and bring it up now. The swamp, was it Arborea, the forest kind of planet or whatever? It was like, it went on forever, and you can tell that it wasn't like a matte painting. Like, they built a huge swamp forest for this, you know, so you can tell that they spent a lot of money, and
they just didn't spend it wisely.
Right, yeah. So, that was kind of my first point, was just the right away, the effects and set design, the plane, you know, going down, like, just stuff like that was...
I think the worst for me was the Hawk guys.
Okay, yeah.
Their papier-mâché wings that were...
Yeah.
I mean, even, like, just sitting on them, they looked horrible, let alone when they were actually flying.
Yeah.
That was just brutal to me. I just couldn't stop noticing it. How
Agreed.
awful it was.
Yeah.
But, okay. Did you like the guys with the Google goggles?
They reminded me of Lobot from Empire Strikes Back.
Lobot.
Lando Calrissian's like second in command. He's got like a cybernetic headpiece.
Okay, when we watch it, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, you'll notice him right away, and I think that actor is actually in this as one of those guys with the eyewear.
Okay.
At least he was in the credits, or I saw him somewhere, so I couldn't point him out if I had to, but...
Yeah, it made me think of, because they were sort of viewing things for him.
Yeah.
It made me think of Minority Report.
Okay.
It's like those people that were stuck in the goo.
Oh, yeah.
They could, you know, sense when somebody was possibly going to kill somebody or whatever.
It was freaky at the end when they got one person got their glasses knocked off, and then they all just, you know...
I was like, design flaw.
Right.
One guy has a bummer of a set of shades and you all die.
Yeah.
That's pretty brutal. But there's a lot of weird.
So much weird. Yeah.
Like, a lot of eyeballs.
Yeah.
Or random goo. It's weird.
Yeah.
But it kept me on my toes, I'll give it that.
Well, and not even very far in. Like, once we arrive at, Ming's palace, I think it's called Mingo City. It may not be in the movie, but as I was reading for some of the older Flash Gordon stuff, it was called Mingo City, so I'm guessing that's what this city is called. When we see which I wasn't sure if they were robots, who came to the rocket to capture Zarkov and Flash and Dale.
Oh, you mean the scene where Flash Gordon just opens the hatch and jumps out, not knowing?
Yeah, you know. But those guys, I thought, like, at first I thought maybe they were like robots or cybernetic or whatever. And then they go into the palace and there's lizard men, and there's hawk men, and I literally had to pause it right here because it was too much to handle. I was like, what the hell is going on? You know, I had nothing had prepared me for this.
Yeah, it was, I remember thinking that those lizard people looked like Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
And they were poorly designed.
Yeah, it was you'd see their actual faces, I guess. Yeah, that was pretty. It seemed weird. Like, why couldn't you just paint someone's actual face, whatever color? And
we've had Planet of the Apes for a while.
Yeah.
Couldn't do something a little better than a...
Right, so it's kind of weird where they'll spend money, but then on other areas they won't spend money, or...
Yeah, I think Flash has like 18 costume changes.
Right.
All, luckily, have a lightning bolt.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So, that reminds me when he was on the plane, and he tells her his name's Flash while he's wearing the t-shirt that says Flash.
Right.
I was like, yeah, I bet she knows your name because you're wearing your name on your shirt like it's... I swear.
Yeah.
It was just I could tell right off the bat this was going to be like one of those cult movies that people like know the parts to and certain lines because it's so cheesy that you have to kind of make fun of it. And I don't know if the serials were like this, where it was...
I can't imagine. I think... And I've not watched any of them. I've never read any of the comic strips. I think it was much more like swashbuckling adventure type stuff. A lot more sci-fi. That I don't know, but I think they were trying to be very modern. Mm-hmm. And when I was watching it, I don't really see why it's a cult classic.
Really?
I mean.
See, I had
not really.
A lot of fun with it. It was just, like, especially the Hawk guy, the leader of the Hawk people.
He's hard not to like.
That was my favorite character by far.
Yeah.
I mean, he almost felt like he was a wrestler in a movie. Like, he was just, like, over the top, like, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah, that's Brian Blessed, and I know him mostly from, he's Boss Nass from... Phantom Menace, the Star Wars movie. So he's the big Gungan, so the leader of Jar Jar's tribe or whatever. The big, fat guy that's always shaking his jowls. And that's him. So
yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess we're at differing ends of the spectrum. This movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think we'll end up too far apart. I mean, I had fun with it, but So,
did you like the gun that the guards had?
I couldn't tell you what it did or what it was like. I don't remember the gun.
It like shot a hand.
That's right, the hand that shot out. Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. Awesome. I think that's probably why I thought they were robots.
Oh yeah.
So I thought maybe that was like a robotic hand that shot out.
Yeah, I assumed it was a gun because it had like a laser thing, and I don't know. I wasn't sure what it was.
Yeah.
But it was cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, this whole time, like, before I saw it, I didn't realize it was all outer space, like aliens.
Okay.
So when I heard the name Merciless Ming, or Ming the Merciless, I assumed he was Chinese. And from the costume,
right,
because it's very yellow and red, like Orient, like China.
Yeah, I think they were definitely going for that look, and I think that they were definitely trying to make him look that stereotypical Fu Manchu kind of,
It made me think of Big Trouble in Little China.
Right.
Like that guy. But at the same time, it was just a bit off. Like,
right.
And like, it's probably his eyebrows that did it, but...
those things were killer.
But he didn't have like a accent, like a horrible Chinese accent.
No, and they didn't try to make him look Asian, I guess. I mean, they did some eye makeup and but nothing over the top. But I mean, I did like the Max von I never know how to pronounce his last name, von Sydow or von
I think it's
Sydow.
Von Sydow.
He was great, he definitely put his all into it, I think. I mean, as far as the acting goes, And a lot of the supporting characters in this I really enjoyed. I think one of my favorite characters was I kept calling him Gold Mask.
Oh yeah.
For most of it, I eventually realized his name was Clytus, but he was probably my favorite character in this movie.
Yeah, it was it had to be tough acting with that on his face.
Yeah, but he was able to emote, I thought.
Yeah, you could tell he was jealous and kind of Anakin Skywalker-ish about the princess.
Well, and that's, one of my notes later on was, he is the Darth Vader in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I assumed that it would have been Ming. Like, Ming doesn't really do much in this movie. Like,
well, he's got his...
he wants to get laid and get married. That's his, like...
Well, he has fun by destroying planets, too.
Yeah, we get a little bit of that, but...
And he's got his force powers.
Yeah.
Ring.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like the Schwartz. He's got a ring that forces people to do stuff, just like in Spaceballs.
Is there a ring in Spaceballs?
Are you kidding me?
I mean, yeah, I've told you before. I've seen like parts of the movie, and I couldn't stand the parts that I've seen. So
oh my gosh.
I've never seen like enough
rings.
of it.
That's how they channel the Schwartz.
Of course it
which is the Force.
Right.
Like Jewish.
I get that.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, Travis. Oh, okay.
We'll get there.
But yes, I believe they stole it from Spaceballs.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
keep telling yourself that, buddy.
But I bet that's where Spaceballs got it from.
Could be.
Because,
yeah.
I mean, he even does the same hand gesture that Rick Moranis and what's his face? Was it Bill Pullman?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I always confuse Bill Pullman with.
It's Pullman in
okay.
Spaceballs, yeah. Paxton's in Aliens.
Yeah, I always confuse the two.
Yeah.
I think everybody does for some reason.
Right.
But yeah, I bet that's where they got the whole ring thing from, and it sort of having mystical powers.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Let's see. What did you think of the fight sequence?
Oh, you mean when football happened?
That's right.
What the hell was that?
It's the only way he knows how to fight.
Oh
Natural
my God,
instinct as a football player.
That was so awful.
But it was hilarious.
I mean, kind of, but see,
hitting people randomly, and
that was funny. I like that.
The doctor kept throwing him balls and accidentally knocks him out.
Yeah, and it's like I couldnd tell. Is this movie supposed to be funny? Like, is it gonna have jokes like that, or
I think
I didn't know.
I think it is supposed to be kind of like spoofy because it kind of gave me like a what's that show with Yakety Sax always playing?
Oh,
Benny Hill.
Yeah, okay.
It kind of gave me that Benny Hill vibe where they're just like a lot of slapstick.
Yeah, for me it just didn't fit. I mean, at least for what I was seeing up to that point, like I don't know, it took me right out of it.
You fools! He's playing some barbaric game. Now match him like this. Now. 41, 42,
Go
43. Hut, hut.
Go, Flash, go! Go, Flash, go!
See, that let me know that I shouldn't take the rest of this movie serious.
Sure.
So it was a good indicator that I am not watching a serious sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
but there's really nothing else that I can think of that's like overly goofy throughout the rest of the movie.
No, it's really just the leader of the Hawk people.
Yeah, he's over the top,
yeah.
and that's just
top.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had one note I liked in when they're about to put Flash to death.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I noticed almost everybody in the, like, if you call it a ceremony or whatever, was either in masks or had hoods on or whatever, except the guy that was, going to deal the killing blow, or, the executioner, who typically would be in a mask or a hood or, So I thought it was weird, like, as he was leading him up to the chair, that almost everyone else had something over their head, but except for this guy. So it was kind of a weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was intentional, but just something I noticed. So.
Gotcha. Well, there was another funny line that Clytus had.
Okay.
Where he asked Flash Gordon if he refused his last meal.
Oh yeah.
And Flash, I can't remember what he said, but essentially he did refuse the meal. And then Clytus just goes, "Oh, well, the chef won't be happy." I was just like, what the?
I must have missed that.
It threw me off guard again.
Yes, you don't look well. And I'm told you refused your final meal. The chef will be upset.
Tell him to go to hell!
But it was just perfect because Clytus is so... He's, like, pompous and...
Yeah.
Monotone. I don't know what it is. He's just, like, got this air about him.
Yeah.
Like, he thinks he's better than everybody.
Oh, for sure.
But, yeah, it goes to the sneaky doc and his injection.
Right.
And then they seriously gas him with Joker gas.
I know.
Because it was some really green gas.
Yeah.
And that's credits. So.
Yep, movie's done.
I mean, I don't know. I just thought it was weird that they killed him so quickly.
Yeah, I mean...
Because it's not, like, as a moviegoer, you know it's not really...
Right, you know it's not going to stick.
It's just weird that it happened so quickly to me. I don't know.
It seems like...
It was the first encounter he had with Ming, so...
Right, and maybe that speaks to Ming's character of, you know, any male presence that he sees as a threat, I guess, or competition with women. Maybe he just has them taken out right away. But I also wonder if it's just the writers didn't know how to finish the act, so it was like, well, we'll just kill him and then bring him back in the next act.
Sure.
So, I don't know.
So, that sort of ends Act 1.
Yeah.
What's the girl's name? It's like a guy name. Dale.
Dale. Yeah.
That kept screwing me up. I kept looking for a guy whenever he said Dale.
Oh, right.
So Dale is going to be his concubine future wife because she dances weird when she's tranced.
Yeah. I mean,
what that was all about.
Well, unfortunately, you know, it's, I guess, part of the time maybe, but the women in this movie are purely just sex objects. Like, that's it, you know. I mean, Dale gets a cool fight scene. You know, she does kick some ass.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I mean,
the princess,
they really don't serve much purpose.
The princess is pretty good.
And I enjoyed her. I actually enjoyed both the women, but
she's still a sex object, but at least she's
sure.
using it.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess she's using it for her advantage.
Because she seems to have quite a few people wrapped around her finger.
Right, the
doctor.
The doctor, and then Baron.
Yep.
We didn't even mention, you know, Timothy Dalton.
Yeah.
That was a surprise. I had no idea he was in this.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was in it, and what's his face? Oh, I'm blanking on it. Robbie Coltrane.
Yeah, I saw that. I guess he was the guy loading the plane at the very beginning.
Yeah. I saw a little trivia thing that said there were 4 Bond actors in this movie.
Yeah.
So I was looking for him. I didn't see him until I had to look it up on IMDb.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was him. And like, it was kind of weird because they listed that as a cameo, and it's like, if that's like one of your first roles, I don't think that counts as a cameo because you're famous now.
True.
You know.
Nobody at the time was like, ooh, that's that guy we've seen before.
Yeah. There was also another guy from Harry Potter, the guy at the beginning who attempts to attack Ming, then he just like phases him out. I knew I recognized him just because his eyes were very, you know, distinct. He kind of had like one lazy eye. And I was like, I know this guy. So, of course, looking him up, you know, once the movie was over, I found out that that's the guy that plays Kingsley Shacklebolt in the later Harry Potter movies.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. He looked super young, you know,
and
it makes sense. I mean, it was 30 years ago or whatever, so.
Yeah. Wow. Good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that now that I'm thinking about that. You know, the funny thing was, I was trying to figure out where I saw Timothy Dalton.
Oh.
Look, that dude looks familiar. Oh, how sad.
He seemed like, just the character he was playing was like, he seemed like he was channeling Errol Flynn in a Robin Hood movie. Because he was like all in green and he was, you know, living in the trees and stuff. And
yeah, that's what I wrote him down as, Robin Hood guy.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, I can never remember this guy's name.
Yeah.
But I didn't even realize that he was because I've never seen him as Bond.
Right.
So I didn't even put the two together.
Huh.
That's how bad I am.
Yeah.
But he also is Mr. Pricklepants in Toy Story 3.
Never saw it.
What?
Yeah.
You're talking about the most, like, heart-wrenching third act ever put to film.
As Kevin Smith calls it, Schindler's Toy Box?
Yes. It will scar you for life.
Right.
Wow. You haven't seen Toy Story 3.
Man, yeah, just at a certain age, I just quit seeing, like, I haven't seen WALL-E or...
It's Pixar, man.
I know.
WALL-E, you gotta see. It's freaking disturbingly
some
accurate.
of them I've seen, but
yeah.
Most of that, like, that era of Pixar movies, I just never got around to seeing. So.
Wow. All right. We're going to have to add Toy Story to the list.
Yeah. I dig the first two.
Well, the third one is pretty awesome.
Okay.
I think it's right up there with the first one. All right.
So what did you make of the telepathic phone call?
Oh, as soon as they started throwing their hands up at their heads, you know, like,
yeah,
I'm thinking with my hands.
Right.
And I don't know. It was kind of funny because they kept talking out loud and thinking.
Yeah.
So it was kind of funny that they couldn't figure it out because that's probably how it really would be.
Sure.
Like, oh man, I'm talking out loud. I'm not thinking it. But shouldn't you be thinking it if you're talking it out? I got confused myself by it.
Are you okay? Over?
I'm locked in Ming's bedroom.
Fake him out.
How?
Girls know how, Dale. It's been done to me. Fake him out till I get back. Over.
It's too dangerous for you here. You can't come back. Stay where you're safe.
Oh my God, this girl's really turning me on.
I didn't quite get that. Think it again.
Forget I thought it. It wasn't about you. Over.
What?
And there's that weird part about, this chick is really turning me on, and it's like, I mean...
I forgot. Yes, that was awesome.
Yeah.
He got caught with his own dirty thoughts.
Well, then he tells Dale, because I guess Ming is coming, and he says, well, fake him out, girls know how.
That's right. Well, she's already on that roofie juice.
Right.
It's supposed to make it.
That was weird. That was weird.
A creepy line.
I know.
It's like, will it make me forget? No, but it will make you feel better about remembering.
Right. God, it's horrible.
So I'm picturing that Ming to her now looks hot. Maybe like Flash Gordon.
Oh. Made him more desirable?
Yeah, because I don't know how else it would fix you from remembering and not wanting to vomit.
I don't know.
Have nightmares about caterpillars because of his eyebrows. Ooh.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was definitely a weird section of the movie.
It was. I did like the, let's see, when Aura, the princess, like goes back and, I don't remember how they captured her, because all I remember is, she left Flash with Baron.
Yeah,
and then goes back, and then she's basically instantly in the torture chamber.
Yeah, when she flew back, they already knew Flash was alive.
They had her on video or whatever.
Oh, it was Dale told Doctor what.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I overheard it that Flash was alive, and then I think they did some sleuthing behind the scenes and figured it out. That Titus guy knew and wanted to make sure that it didn't matter who it was.
Yeah, that was pretty badass.
And, to Ming's credit, he didn't care.
See, and I thought that was going to be like a hologram or a fake out. Like, I didn't really think that... Okay.
Because
it just seemed weird how they were presenting it, because he was, like, in a little, like, cutout. Like, it almost looked like he was I don't know, an apparition,
Like he was, like, holding a brandy and a cigar or something. It was like a weird... Like...
Yeah.
It's like, casual Ming.
Right.
Like he didn't have his fancy robe on. Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought that was like a picture, and somebody was just kind of talking with like the eyes cut out or something. But yeah, it was legit.
What else? Oh, I got a real deer hunter vibe in the swamp area. Just because of the swamp cage that was lowering into the water.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever seen Deer Hunter and they get captured, like they keep them in, in Vietnam, they kept them in a little bamboo cage that was like partially submerged. So it was kind of a, sooner or later your strength is going to give out and you're just going to, have to let go of the roof and sink down to the bottom.
I have to make.
And then, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say I have a confession to make.
Okay.
I've never seen Deer Hunter. I thought I had, but I confused Deer Hunter with reindeer games.
Oh my God.
They're both
the Ben Affleck vehicle?
Yes. They're both deers. Okay.
Oh my God.
Hunting is sport, also known as a game. Come on.
Yeah.
Totally screwed that up. Because I was sitting here thinking, I've seen that. I'm like, wait, no, that was reindeer games.
Nice.
But yeah,
I only had seen Deer Hunter like last year. I mean, it took me a long time to get to it, but and then another part, like that's the famous Russian roulette. The gun to the head.
Oh,
that's kind of where that kind of became, popularized. I think, or at least that scene. So the whole sticking your arm into the stump and waiting to get stung, like that was another like Russian roulette type moment that I don't know if that was intentional or not, or just a coincidence,
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I wasn't aware of that, but I wrote down Russian roulette.
Yeah.
Hand game or whatever the hell it was. That it was like a scorpion or something in there.
Yeah, the wood beast, I think is what they call it.
Yeah. Oh,
kind of a cool, cool concept that if they're worthy, they won't get stung.
Yeah. I liked the little fake out he did.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Is he acting badly as part of his character, or is he just a bad actor?
Well, and I thought, did he get stung and now he somehow, his Earth biology isn't going to let him die, or,
Or maybe this is his origin story, and that's how
he gets powers. Yeah.
It's like the yellow sun to Superman. This Sting is like that to him.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, there was an animal that I was bummed out we didn't get to see, and that was that, what was it, boar worm?
Oh, yeah.
That
was a lot of
badass, but we didn't
I know.
see it.
It terrified her.
Yeah. I pictured they were putting like a worm in her head.
I pictured the scene from Wrath of Khan where they put the little worms in their ears. Yeah.
Yeah, I've only seen the part where he yells Khan.
Oh, okay. We'll get there in a few weeks, so you'll know what I'm talking about.
That, and I know there's a big conspiracy theory about whether that was his chest or not. Ricardo Montalban. Or...
Oh, that was all Ricky, baby.
Yeah. Let's see. So
what do you got?
Oh, when he got stuck in the mud.
Yeah.
And that weird tentacle balloon monster got him, or whatever that was. I immediately thought of was it The Princess Bride?
Yep, I was thinking that too. Yep.
And then the
ROUSs.
Yeah, and then the bog. I was waiting for it to explode but instead it sucked him in, kind of like the quicksand there, and he climbs out using a vine, just like Lee did. So I was like, I
thought of that too.
Very familiar.
Then we got the kind of cool whip fight between Baron and Flash.
Yeah, I enjoyed the.
It goes on a little long, but
I enjoyed the remote control though.
Yeah, the little spiky bits and
tilting, and I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I mean it had a predictable ending. Like you kind of guessed that he was going to spare Baron's life, and if that's how he'd get him on his side. So, but it works.
Yeah, I was thoroughly entertained by that because it made me think of American Gladiators.
Okay,
kinda.
Nice.
And I kept waiting for somebody to rack themselves on a spike.
Oh, okay.
Because it's been kind of weird with the fight sequences so far. So I thought they were going to try to make it funny.
Oh, yeah.
So something stupid was going to happen. I just kept waiting.
Sure.
That, and when I saw the vortex under the pit, or the platform, I assumed one of the bad guys was going in there. Like, Star Wars, where somebody's always going to fall.
Sure.
Yeah. Like I thought Clytus was going to take that trip.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
oh, man, that was awesome when he shows up.
Yeah. That scene kind of messed me up a little bit.
With the eyes?
Yes, but it's something that somebody said, and I thought they said that it was a clone, but maybe they said Clytus.
Oh.
I heard somebody say clone after his eyes bugged out and juice started coming out. So
I
thought
think I remember someone saying Clytus.
Yeah, it probably was, but at the time I thought they said clone, and
okay.
it made sense because he died so weird.
Yeah.
Like I thought the clone melted or something.
Right, yeah, they definitely didn't have a reason to have his eyes bug out and his tongue, like, squeeze out, but...
And then it just...
I mean, it was kind of cool, but it looked,
Because that other lady dies and becomes, like, black liquid.
Yeah, I mean, so, again, kind of cool, but no explanation why.
I guess that's just
not that we need one.
Mingos die.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, we had Clytus show up all pissed off, and they dispatched him fairly quickly.
Yeah, which kind of bummed me out, because, like I said, he was,
fun character.
Yeah.
So then it sort of gets to the end of Act 2, and Ming shows up, and really fun.
Yeah, I like Ming's offer to Flash, lets him, offers him up Earth to rule for Ming, and but that was a kind of a cool, evil, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I like the part where he talked about how when you go back, it won't be the same Earth. It'll be easy, same, and put under your control or whatever. And then I think Flash said something about, oh, you mean slaves.
Right.
And Ming was like, meh. Whatever. Ming out. So I thought it was odd that Ming just left and pulled a Bond villain move.
Oh, yeah.
And then
we'll just leave him here.
Leave you here, safe and sound, with many ways to escape, possibly.
Yeah.
And we'll repeatedly shoot this building with little laser beams when I'm pretty sure he could destroy a planet.
Yeah.
But can't destroy a tiny floating fortress.
Right.
So something didn't add up there.
Yeah. They kept like really leaning on that. We'll just build parachutes and jump down to the next city, and it's like I kept waiting for something to come of that, but never did. So are we ready for the Hawk battle?
Yeah.
Oh, come on! At least this had an awesome music score.
That is what I wrote down. If the music was not there, this would have been brutal.
It was pretty rough, but yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it for the most part, probably because of the music.
Yeah.
It was rough just with the so Flash is on the sky cycle. He's creating a diversion, flying up to this
number 12.
Yeah. He flies up to the clouds, they follow him, and it's just the effects, throughout all of this are just it's hard. I mean, it was hard to, keep I don't know.
You didn't like the electrocuted cloud?
Oh, I mean, that was kind of cool, I guess.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
They were assuming he was hiding in the cloud.
Right,
so let's electrocute it and then blindly fly into it.
Yeah. The Hawkmen were...
I didn't understand how they didn't have any kind of sensing equipment.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, because there were a ton of Hawkmen. They should have been able to pick something up on the radar.
Because I believe the goggle guys are still in commission at this point.
Yeah, I don't think Baron knocks them out until...
And they're the eyes of his empire. Like, they're the ones that are always seeing way off into the distance or tracking Flash. So, I don't know. Something was weird about that to me.
There was also, I have in my notes, there was skywriting later, like during the wedding reception. It said something about your pain, or I didn't write down what the actual message said, but I thought that was strange.
It was a craft that flew by with a banner.
Yeah.
And
or I guess I meant
I was picturing
not skywriting.
Skywriting like loop to loop to make letters and stuff.
Well, we'll get another form of skywriting later.
Yeah. But what was it? So basically, Ming is worried about getting his wedding off without a hitch.
Yeah.
Jail.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that this movie kind of wraps up with a wedding ceremony is kind of lame. I mean, I guess there's the undercurrent of there's a ticking clock on Earth.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, so it's about to meet its maker or whatever, but that's just so...
Even that doesn't have any satisfaction to it.
No, I mean, that's such a... It's the build-up in the beginning. I mean, that's why they go to Mongo.
Yeah.
But, yeah, by the end of it, it's like Earth is an afterthought. But impaling Ming with that spaceship is badass.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
I mean, I didn't see that coming.
No, I thought he would have hidden like everybody else. But
yeah.
he just was like, bring it. And then he was like, oh crap, and tried to run and got us
right
to the back. And then it was kind of cool. Like, I was like bummed out if that was the end.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of cool that him and Flash had like a final mini, I wouldn't call it a battle really, but...
Yeah, confrontation.
It showed Ming weakening from his wound.
Right.
And his power with the Schwartz ring fading.
Yeah.
The game's lost, Ming. Stop your attack on Earth and I'll spare your life.
You pitiful fool. My life is not for any earthling to give or take.
Your power's fading, Ming.
And how did you take him disappearing?
Hell, it was par for the course. We had people exploding their eyes, turning to liquid.
Well, I meant, how did you? What do you think happened with him disappearing?
Well, the thing,
because I thought one thing, and then when I read, just about the movie, I read what they intended, and that's not how I took it. So I'm just curious what you.
They mentioned that he drinks a power drink.
Okay.
Every morning, and Dale was supposed to poison it.
Oh yeah.
We couldn't go back on our word for.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
She's human, and humans are awesome.
Yeah.
But so I assumed like maybe he sort of. I immediately thought of Obi-Wan Kenobi, like vanishing.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't leave clothes behind at least, but
right.
Apparently,
make someone else deal with his laundry.
Apparently, in the Force, it's a bunch of nudie people. But
yeah.
I assumed that he used his last bit of power to transport himself.
Okay.
Because he's obviously got some mystical ability.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the power drink crap and all that, and he's like thousands of years old. So I figured he had some way of dismantling his sort of being and, maybe saving himself somehow that way, like a fail-safe to get away from danger. And I thought I was right on the money when the hand came back to pick up the ring.
Right.
I assumed it was him or maybe another Clytus.
Some other acolyte, yeah. Well, when he disappeared, when he actually disappeared, I thought because he had been impaled, maybe he was like a vessel for all this, dark energy kind of thing, and because he was wounded, I thought maybe all that power was leaving his body, and that when he blinked out of existence, I thought he had actually died.
Yeah, I thought he sort of went into the ring.
Okay. Yeah, I took it as he was just completely dead. And then that's when, like I said, I read what happened, and it sounds like you were right on the money. Like, he used the last bit of his power, because he was getting weaker, but he used the last bit of his power to transport himself or basically save himself. So that's not what I got from actually watching it, but yeah, it sounds like you were right on it.
Yeah, I only thought of that because they focused on the ring so much.
Right.
And he sort of, it seemed like, maybe it was just a trick, but it seemed like there was a shine to the ring when it hit the ground.
Yeah.
So, I mean, your take on it seems almost like you're thinking he was like a vampire of sorts.
Kinda, yeah,
like,
I guess so.
Once staked, he...
Yeah.
Well, no. I guess he didn't burst into flames, but dissipates into nothingness.
So I guess maybe he was more like a Voldemort, where he became, energy and then transferred into someone else's body, maybe, and that's how he picked up the ring.
That could be. Well,
I don't know.
I was thinking, like, if anything, whoever picked up that ring would be taken over by Ming.
Right.
So I wasn't entirely sure who picked up the ring.
Yeah.
It was just a black glove, so it could have been...
Because I can't imagine it was a Ming lookalike, because I think everyone would have noticed, like, didn't we just kill you? Why are you back all of a sudden,
Yeah.
So.
Let's see. Yeah, that pretty much...
yeah, I mean, I'm...
his daughter taking over.
Yeah, yeah.
I think what Dale says, are we ever getting back to Earth?
Do you guys care? I mean...
Then it kind of just ends with the ring being taken away.
Well, we do get more little skywriting with the Hawkmen spelling out "Thanks, Flash."
Yeah, and I liked where it said "the end" with a question mark.
Right.
And I was like, oh, good gravy. And this movie did actually make money.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it totaled around 27
in the States.
In the States, I thought it was less than it was. I thought that was worldwide. States,
gross in the U.S. was $27 million.
Oh, was it? Okay.
So I don't know what did it make worldwide?
I'm looking at it on my app, and it doesn't give me as much information.
Yeah.
It gives me like Sweden's gross.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Some SEK.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's Sweden.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, I think I read somewhere that it made like over double its budget. So probably ultimately it made like $40 million.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm surprised they didn't. Well, actually, I'm betting they're going to make a reboot.
In the Wikipedia when I was reading it said that as of 2015 they had, some whatever studio purchased the rights for it, and they've got people working on a script, so that's as far as it's gotten. Like they've got, it looked like 2 writers, working on it. So.
Because isn't The Rock redoing Big Trouble in Little China?
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of excited for, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I was never a Big Trouble Little China fan. I mean, it's not one of them that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, so I don't have like a big connection to it. So it doesn't bother me that they're remaking it. I mean, and The Rock is so damn watchable, But then it's like he's also in the Jumanji remake, and
really?
It's like, yeah, him and Kevin Hart are going to be in the Jumanji remake or continuation or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So.
Well, I did my obligatory Rotten Tomatoes checkout.
Okay, yeah.
And it's the opposite of what I expected.
Really?
The critics are 82%.
Okay.
The audience is 69%.
Wow. See, and I kept reading that for the most part, the critics didn't have much positive to say about this, except for Roger Ebert. He apparently really liked it. But.
Rating one review, it says a respectable time waster.
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's 82% tomato meter, and then audience score of 69 or 68 or whatever. 69.
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah, I thought it would have been the other way around.
Yeah.
But
that probably goes, back to it achieving cult status. I mean, that's typically well-regarded movies usually don't, get to that point, so.
But that may be like the people reviewing it may have been like George Lucas, where they were fond of the story, characters or something, and it tainted their judgment.
And that's what I kept coming back to. It's like, this movie wanted to be Star Wars so badly. And, part of me, it's like, when I was watching it, it's like, this movie should work. It's got sci-fi elements, it's got action-adventure, but I think and I don't know about, at the time, how it was regarded as far as special effects go, but I can't imagine. I mean, if you hold this up next to Star Wars, the effects are, this can't even come close. Like, the rocket ship and everything just feels like a cardboard cutout, Yeah,
it felt more like Star Trek, the TV show.
Yeah.
To me, anyway. Especially since the guards were all in red and kept dying. I was like, you stole that.
Right.
So I just assumed anyone all in red was going to kick the bucket.
Everything was in red in this movie.
Yeah. Because the guards were just pathetic.
Yeah.
And I still can't figure out if they were human or not.
I don't think they were. They made that, like, squealing sound,
Yeah.
and I almost thought that they were lizard men underneath.
Just like really.
So I think I saw, like, a flash of green kind of under the mask or under the eye.
They were just so much taller, though.
That's true.
I don't know. But, yeah, so that pretty much ends it.
Yeah, I don't really have any more notes as far as the actual, act structure goes. So
talking about it makes me like it less, I think. I enjoyed it in the moment.
Yeah.
Just because I was like, oh, this is so weird. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's obvious what doesn't hold up. And
yeah.
If I saw this being lampooned by Mystery Science Theater, I would not bat an eye because it has that same quality.
Yeah.
Of like a B movie from the 50s or something.
Right, totally.
With the exception of intricate swamp scene, but
yeah,
randomly. And I was trying to figure out what those bolts were that were being shot from the tower. Were those like sword shapes or lightning bolts? I kept seeing sword images, I thought, when the castle was firing. Like all those millions of bolts that flashes.
Oh. Yeah, I think they were just laser bursts or laser bolts.
They had like a weird shape to them, and it made it count as a sword.
Okay, I didn't notice the
if it
shape.
Was, it looked badass, but yeah, I'm assuming somebody in Queen must have been a fan of Flash Gordon.
Yeah, I don't know what the connection was. I read that someone didn't want Queen to do the music, but then ultimately, obviously, they did it. I did like the when Prince Voltan, the Hawk general or Hawk leader, says, "Who wants to live forever?"
Yeah.
That's in the Highlander movie, there's a song called "Who Wants to Live Forever," and Queen does the music for the Highlander movie.
And
so I have to.
That comes out like 4 or 5 years later.
Something like that. I think it's 86 or 84, maybe. Yeah. So I have to wonder if that was just something that they, took from this. I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird because when he said it, he seemed proud of himself after saying it. Like, yeah, I'm so smart.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Does anything hold up for you? I had that the characters and most of the characters and some of the performances I think are still really good.
Yeah. It's hard to. I enjoyed the Good Doctor.
Okay.
He had some interesting.
Oh, Zarkov.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had some interesting things to deal with because he was pretending to be mind wiped.
Yeah.
And at the same time, he was batshit crazy on Earth.
Right.
And when they wiped his mind, there was some weird Hitler stuff in there.
Yeah. That sequence was kind of badass.
He was caught in Germany or something. It was hard to tell because his dad was him.
Yeah.
And I lost track of where he was in the timeline.
And there was some weird flash of like his wife maybe died in a pool or something like that. That was weird.
It's very weird. But he seemed to go with the flow and was doing pretty good, I thought.
Yeah, I mean he was pretty over the top, and I didn't know what to make of him at the very beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, he was nuts at the beginning.
Yeah, and his little sidekick in the lab is Porkins from Star Wars, the heavyset guy in the X-wing.
Oh, okay.
And then he'll be in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then he's Eckhart in the '89 Batman movie.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of the dirty cop.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
yeah, same guy, William Hootkins.
Cool.
I mean, and this movie was full of like people that we've seen in other things. So.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot as far as effects and that I really enjoyed.
No.
The handgun thing.
Yeah, that was cool.
Whatever it was, I thought that was pretty cool. But
yeah, I'd say that some of the sets hold up a little bit better. I mean, they're not quite like they're not a Ken Adam, James Bond set kind of level, but so a lot of the corridors on some of the enemy ships were like just plain, like no detail. It's not like when you're in the Star Destroyer in Star Wars where even the walls have like interesting architecture and detail.
Yeah.
So it was definitely like they saved some money there.
Well, even Ming's like main palace room, I was like, I could tell it was a set.
Yeah.
Like it just didn't have high production value on the set. And that was like a main piece. Like they filmed a couple scenes in there. So yeah, overall I was kind of bummed that it was as shoddy as it was, but at the same time I still had fun watching it because it's just so bizarre.
Right. I think I just couldn't get a handle on what this movie wanted to be, aside from it wanted to be Star Wars, is really what I took from it. But let's see. I guess we'll do some pros and cons.
Yeah. I think we got the main con out of the picture already.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, for sure.
The pro will always be the King of the Hawks.
Okay.
Every time he was doing something, I just enjoyed it. He seemed to be having a lot of fun.
Right.
And he was a character that made a lot of sense for the situation he was in.
Sure.
I mean, they had a plan. They knew they weren't ready to take on Ming. They still needed like another year. So they were trying to bide as much time as they could.
Yeah.
While they were selling out Robin Hood and Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
But, I mean, his character made simple sense. And
sure. I read that he, at one point, he walked behind Dale and like kind of goosed her on the ass. And it wasn't planned, so her reaction, her surprise reaction, was completely genuine. And he definitely was like having fun with it. He was big. I mean, every line he delivered was with the biggest grin you've ever seen. So yeah, he was great. Yeah.
That was a pro there.
Okay. Let's see. A pro. Some of the movie had a very retro, had that 30s, 40s, science fiction, I guess mostly like the ships and stuff. The design was very cool and retro. So I like what they were trying to do as far as the style goes.
Okay.
It felt like it was probably pretty true to its pulp, comic strip origins. So, and a lot of the movie, had that adventure type swashbuckling feel, that I feel like that is what they wanted it to be,
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of, I thought of it as kind of Robin Hood meets Peter Pan.
Well, I think it's a lot like the John Carter of Mars. There's a DC character called Adam Strange who's like a Earthman who gets zapped into, another planet. And then I don't know much about Buck Rogers, which I guess is, one of the main inspirations for Flash, but so it has those roots of that pulp hero sci-fi science fiction, hero story.
So it's kind of like a cowboy in space.
Kinda, yeah.
Space cowboy. I think I just got thrown off by some of the costumes.
Okay.
Not all of them were winners.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But yeah, I mean, the ones that were done well, like Ming, and some of Flash's stuff, not all of it, but some of it was good.
Well, I think at one point he was like in the red, tank top and the black pants, and that looked cool. I mean, that's
that's what I remember.
Yeah.
That and the weird gray diaper thing from the cover, where his execution outfit.
Yeah.
Because those are the only two things I remembered.
Right.
Were those two costumes. I didn't realize he walked around in a Flash t-shirt and.
Yeah. I think that's just the time.
Well, I read on IMDb that he wears that because a fan gave it to him and he wanted to somehow meet her, and he thought if he wore it around, he'd run into her.
Wow, that's a lot of
stretch I've ever.
That's a lot of character development.
Yeah, I was like, are you sure he just wasn't a douche?
Yeah,
but
because I'm betting this guy has a bitchin' van with the name Flash, airbrushed on the side of it too. So.
Without a doubt, I was checking to see if he had a belt buckle.
Nice.
Okay.
One of my other pros was just the character of Clytus. Yeah. I really enjoyed him. He was up there as far as, not quite a Darth Vader, in terms of memorable or, on quite that level, but he was enjoyable. Yeah. For sure. So.
That's funny, because I kind of liked the third in command, the lady. Frau Farbissina.
Yeah.
I just, she was kind of like power hungry.
Yeah, well, I read that Ming always kept those two, kind of battling each other so that they wouldn't both turn on Ming.
I got that vibe.
Okay.
Because
see, to me, it seemed like they were working together when it came to stealing Zarkov's memories. But, of course, now that I say that, as soon as Clytus left the room, she disobeyed him and cranked it up to level 6 or whatever. So.
Yeah, which apparently gives Zarkov more intellect.
Yeah, who knows?
He can decode a door that has a ring sensor.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was all about, but he obviously gained more knowledge because he could keep his own memory by quoting Beethoven or some crap.
He said he remembered some lines of Shakespeare, and then he said he even thought of a Beatles song.
So, yeah, I mean, that was convenient, but...
yeah.
But yeah, I really liked her, especially when she sort of took charge after Clytus died.
Yeah.
She was trying to keep his wedding from being ruined.
Yeah.
She was like, not on his wedding day.
Yeah.
And then she turns into black goo.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah. I guess it's her true nature.
Yeah. Should we jump into cons?
Yeah. It's kind of a double-edged sword.
Okay.
And that is the Flash Gordon theme.
Oh, okay.
Because that's all I ever wanted to hear in this movie.
Oh, right.
Like, the rest of it, didn't give a crap about. But the whole...
Well, and they kept leading up to it a lot. They do that guitar riff, dun 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 dun.
And I kept wanting to hear the main chorus, and it's like I spent so much time concentrating on that I forgot what was going on in the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good, but it was just like too good for the movie.
Yeah.
So it became kind of a con in that way, at least for me.
Okay. I mean, I've already gone on enough about special effects and sets and stuff. To me, there was just too much going on. I had to pause the movie twice to get my bearings and just figure out kind of like what was going on. Like, there's just too much to process for, and trying to figure out what this movie was. It really just took me out of it. I don't think I've ever had that experience with a movie before quite like this. So.
Maybe it's my recent binging of Game of Thrones, but I was able to follow it.
Huh.
Because I think Game of Thrones is like that, where there's...
That's true, there's a lot going on.
So many storylines going on, I forget who's talking about what. So, I didn't get that lost, really. It was basically factions under Ming that were pissed off about being under him, but too afraid to go against him, and a wily American human that showed them the meaning of love. Whatever it was. You may have just been not that into it. So,
it could, it very well could have been.
Yeah. Let's see. My other con would probably be the Dale character.
Oh, okay.
I just could care less. Like, she just gave up so often, and it was like, oh, I'll marry him because I'm a woman and I have to do my duty and be a good wife.
I gave my word. I'm not gonna try to kill him. Like
what a weirdo.
Yeah.
It was just so bizarre. It was like a wife's duty, even though it's a psycho ring wielding creepy guy.
Well, maybe that was part of the. She did drink some of that stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe that affected her. I don't know. And it's like that was kind of a loose end. Like they didn't go into that much. They didn't go into the poison. That, I guess they gave a reason why she didn't poison him, but
her word.
I don't know. Yeah.
So I just thought the character was like a waste of space. Yeah. She didn't do anything.
No. Like, I mean, she had that cool fight. She took out those guards. That was cool, but then that didn't lead anywhere, really.
All it led to was them finding out Flash was alive still.
Right.
So,
and then she had a little cat fight with Aura, like on the bed later, which, you know, it's kind of fun to watch, but, you know.
I wrote that down. I was like, oh, of course they're having a pillow fight.
Yeah. I think my last con is just the end kind of, like Ming, just really kind of a letdown at the end. Like he didn't have an evil plot or, you know, scheme at the end. It was just halfway through the movie, he decided he was going to get married, and that was his motivation for the rest of the movie. Earth, you know, no one cared about it, basically, at the end. I mean, they stopped it from being destroyed, but it didn't seem like they were too worried about it.
It's still really jacked up, though. I mean, it wasn't in too good a shape when he left, and that was like day and a half, I don't know how long.
Yeah.
So imagine that Earth's in a bit of a shamble.
Right.
And, it was kind of weird. Like, there was no, like, he was just doing it to do it. Like, it wasn't like a plot. It was just he was bored and wanted to play with Earth.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he had anything against it.
Well, he did have a line somewhere, I think it was, I forget who he was talking to. Maybe he was talking to Zarkov? He was telling him why he puts these planets through the ringer. Like, he tests them, and then if they have anyone that challenges him, he knows that they're a threat, and then that's when he destroys the planet. Yeah. So I dig that aspect of it, but it's like as soon as they got that line out, it was just out the window, you know.
Yeah,
so they didn't really.
I don't understand then why didn't he destroy it right away if he had the humans show up?
Yeah,
because obviously they're posing a threat.
Right.
I mean, he literally gets down and starts fighting as soon as he gets there after he calls Ming a psycho or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I like the little robot that floated around and zapped people.
Oh yeah.
That was
all right.
Also Ming's voice.
But then let him live at the end.
He's like, and then freeze frame.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. I blame that on the 70s and chips in particular.
Right.
They did that a lot. I think Dukes of Hazzard too.
Yeah.
Freaking 70s.
Well, do you want to get into overall thoughts and ratings and wrap this one up?
Sure. I've talked some crap about it, but I think I'd actually watch it again if I was like with a group.
Okay.
It seems like a fun movie to watch with people, like sort of in the background. It's obviously not particularly well done, but it's so odd it makes it kind of fun. So it's kind of a hard thing to rate because as a movie it's god awful, but as entertainment it wasn't half bad.
Okay.
Like, it kept my attention because I wanted to see what other weird crap was going to happen, And I'm pretty sure I probably missed some stuff, so again, I'd watch it again. Just because I got so distracted by certain things that I probably missed a bunch of stuff. So I'd probably get this a solid, 3.
Okay.
It's balanced. Its awfulness as a movie is balanced by its weirdness and quirkiness and acting. So I'm going to get right in the middle because it's just so hard to figure out this one.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I definitely had some fun with this one. But then there were ridiculous, over the top parts that for me were a struggle to get through, and to understand what the movie wanted to be. To me, it just suffered, like I've said, it felt like it just wanted to be Star Wars, and it was really was pushing for that. But I don't know, it just didn't get there for me. But I appreciate that at the heart of it, there was some classic pulp science fiction stuff with a, story about a hero from Earth, but then even that, at the end, it's like it lost motivation, or it lost sight of that being, I guess a big deal. So just for me, this one was just all over the place. I just couldn't get into it. So, I'm giving it a 2.
Whoa.
So
this is one of the rare ones that I'm higher than you.
Yeah, by a full point.
Yeah.
That gives us a 2.5. So right smack in the middle,
Yeah.
I don't know that I would watch this one again anytime soon. Maybe, like you said, in a group setting, that could be fun to kind of rip on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Or if I ever want to hear that song again.
Yeah. I like the music from it.
Yeah, they had a one-note. They had one good song and they used the shit out of it.
Oh yeah.
But I think it was used better in Blades of Glory.
I haven't watched that one in a long time.
Oh, it was spectacular. The whole last sequence with that song is just a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
I think it's one of Will Ferrell's most underrated movies.
Yeah.
'Cause, I just love that thing.
Yeah, I remember enjoying it for sure.
It's got Will Arnett and Amy Poehler.
Oh yeah, the
brother and sister that are
yeah,
kind of a little more than that. It was just I love that movie.
Yeah,
but yeah, so sounds like it's a pretty middle of the road film.
Yeah,
I can kind of see the cultness of it because it's so bizarre.
Sure.
And that's part of, I think, a cult movie is like the weirdness. I mean, you got Rocky Horror Picture.
Yeah.
You got Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I mean, anytime I think of a cult movie, I think it's a little off of norm.
Yeah.
I mean,
would you consider Big Trouble in Little China a cult movie?
I don't know because Kurt Russell is such a big star.
That's true.
Whereas this one didn't have like a huge star. I mean, Timothy Dalton.
Yeah.
Was probably your biggest one, but I don't know how big he was at that time.
No.
So that's the only thing I have against the little Big Trouble in Little China because they had Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he was Snake Plissken before that movie.
I don't know. Probably.
I want to say it may not have been too much before that, but
yeah,
I think people would have known who he was.
Right. Well, and The Thing was before either of those. Pretty sure that was a big movie. Well, I think.
Because was it Escape from New York was the first one?
Yeah.
So I assume that did well enough to make him kind of a well-known name.
Well, I guess he was already a teen actor. He did like a bunch of the Disney movies.
Oh, okay.
So he was already
So he was Zac Efron.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, that's a good, probably a good comparison.
Action.
Did a bunch of movies like the Computer Wore Tennis Shoes. Like he was like super smart. Maybe a android. I'm not sure.
And we are going to have to watch Sky High.
Yeah, I think it's on the list.
Definitely superhero.
Yeah. I'll add it if it's not on the list already, but I'm pretty sure it's there.
Yeah. Okay. Is Starship Troopers on there?
I don't think it is.
Okay.
But I would add that.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's like at least 2 or 3. I think there's 3 more.
I think there's like 3 or 4.
Really?
Like reboots or kind of.
That's like
I would definitely do the first
or something.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah. I'll throw the first one on, and then we can see how we feel about, other ones.
Okay.
Cool. Let's see. I guess we've got to actually officially wrap this one up.
Yeah.
Close it out. So the next one after this one should be Raiders of the Lost Ark. So we'll get some Indiana Jones action.
Oh, I thought it was Star Wars again.
I just had it up. Let me look at it and confirm. Let's see. No, it'll be actually Empire will come before Flash Gordon.
Oh, it's before Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does make sense. Okay.
Yeah, it'll go Star Trek, then Mad Max, then probably that monster movie, Star Wars, Flash Gordon, and then Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean that's gonna do it for Flash Gordon. Let us know, what you guys think of it. I'd be interested to know kind of what the listeners think as far as, are they more in line with you? Like, is it enjoyable? Not a great movie, but fun, or do they, more like me and it's just,
just chaotic and weird.
Yeah.
Another fun activity is either looking up or making up what you think the porn parody character names are.
Yeah.
Like Flash Gordon. Like Ming the Merciless. What is his name?
I think it was Wang.
Wang.
And then, because of course, when I was on Wikipedia and I saw Flash Gordon, I clicked the link, so it took me to the, just the Wikipedia page of it, and it was, there were, names for everything, but none of the other ones are really standing out. But, the princess, instead of Aura, it was Amora.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like Oral or something.
Oh, yeah. So.
Okay.
That's extra credit for any listeners who want to watch that one and let us know what they think of Flash Gordon.
Yep. Well, I guess that'll do it. Try not to get the theme song stuck in your head for too long. It's
right.
Extraordinarily catchy.
I guess we'll be back for some Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark. And, find us on Facebook and Twitter. We're at Real Comic Heroes. And I think that'll do it for this week.
Yep. Welcome to the 80s, everybody.
Yeah.
For nearly 3,000 years, man has searched for the lost Ark of the Covenant.
The Bible speaks of the Ark leveling mountains and laying waste to entire regions. Not something to be taken lightly. No one knows its secrets.
Jones, do you realize what the Ark is? It's a transmitter. It's a radio for speaking to God.
An army which carries the Ark before it is invincible.
The Ark, if it is their Eternis, then it is something that man was not meant to disturb.
It is protected by forces beyond imagination. It is desired above all treasures on Earth by those who are good, trust me, and those who are evil.
I'll tell you everything.
Yes, I know you will.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Let her go.
We have no time. If you still want the Ark, it is being loaded onto a truck for Cairo.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. A film from Steven Spielberg and George Lucas.